Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Chloe, and you're listening to Have You Ever Wondered? It's Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. And today's episode is titled, I Don't Want to Talk About Gun Control. Thanks for being here, guys. I just got to say before I start, what a success yesterday was. Thank you for the feedback. I'm not saying like what a success, I'm so awesome. I'm saying like basically, logistically, and technologically, everything went the way I wanted it to. And people both attempted to listen to and listened to the show. So, thumbs up. I'm back, like I said I would be. Let me tell you what, it's early. That's all I'm going to say about that for right now. It's early. Okay, tone change. You know, it's not even there anymore. I went to do some research on the current state of affairs surrounding what happened just 8 days ago in Uvalde, Texas. And actually, I was doing the research last night, so really it was 7 days. Is there some kind of agreement that all the news agencies have that a week after something tragic happens, they can just go back to talking about nothing? Because there is no major headline story, or there wasn't last night when I was looking on the major national news sites that I look at, not anymore. I saw one story, and it was in a local Texas paper. That was it. That community is still reeling. Lives changed forever. You get 1 week. That's it. I'm not trying to bring you down. I'm not trying to bring myself down. Because last week was extraordinarily difficult for me, and I'm not even there. I don't want to talk about gun control. I really don't. But let's talk about American politics for a minute. Our political system is becoming increasingly asinine in today's society. Here, American society, which is where I am and what I know about. I've been thinking for a while about writing a book. Maybe one day I'll do it when I have more time. A book called The Unnecessary Binary. Because I keep running into it over and over and over again, and it appears to cripple people because it's the system wherein we continually group facets of society, people, ideas, options, decisions, into either or, one or the other, this or that. You can do this or you can do that. What was that old song? You can go with this or you can go with that. You know, it doesn't have to be like that, though. There's so many things in life that actually realistically operate on a spectrum. Anyway, when you're a part of this unnecessary binary and you happen to be an outlier, well, sucks to be you. And I'm an outlier in a lot of ways, so I know what this feels like. You might also know what this feels like. Politically, I tried being a part of both parties earlier in my voter registration career, and neither one was a fit for me. So now I'm an independent. That's what they call it here. And that means that I get next to no representation in the way that our government elects officials, top to bottom. Now, someone asked me years ago, why do you do that? depending on where you live, there's benefits to being in one party or the other. Why don't you just pick the majority party in the region where you are, and at least you get to vote in the primaries or whatever. If you are from here or you studied American civics, you know what that means. But I'd rather be authentic to the fact that I cannot align myself with either one of these ineffectual power mongers. That said, I don't want to take away all the guns. I don't. I know how to shoot a gun. I grew up in a very conservative community, and I was taught how to shoot a rifle when I was in middle school, legally, at camp, for sport. Now, I've never killed anything more serious than a piece of paper, but I know how to safely use one. That said, does anyone need the ability to bring hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds of ammunition and the guns to use it into a place where other people are? I'm not answering the question for you. I'm actually asking you. You can answer the question for yourself. You don't need me to tell you what to think. But here's the idea I came up with last week while I was lamenting what happened. And I do mean like denotatively lamenting, grieving for the people who lost their lives. What if here in America, because I can't speak for anybody else, and apparently because we're the only country in the developed world that is still having trouble with this issue on a massive scale, what if every time there was a mass shooting, and I'm not saying any gun-related loss of life, I'm talking mass, which I believe is currently defined as 4 or more people at one time. What if any time there's a mass shooting, the entire United States has to shut down? Has to. Government, commerce, education, schools closed, stores closed, businesses closed, offices closed, the post office, the DMV, everything closed. You can't go to the movies, you can't go to Target. I mean, if you have like a medical emergency, yes, but otherwise, every single time, everything shut down, just like earlier in the pandemic. And if there's more than one in the same set of days, you stack them up. 3 mass shootings in one weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week, everything shut down. Because I've been racking my brain for what would actually make our mostly useless politicians actually do something about this issue. Have you ever wondered that? Of course you have. I mean, who are we kidding? Because they've already moved on. They cried about it in the news for a few days. Now they've moved on to something else. I know, there's a lot going on. But the thing is, this is also still going on. In the past, we've seen this cycle reiterate itself. I didn't even look to see how many times because I didn't actually want to know the number. And we call ourselves proudly the bastion of capitalism. And so I just thought, if the people in power lost money every time someone else lost their life, how much would that change their tune? I don't want to talk about gun control. I shouldn't have to. But we have to talk about something that's going to lead to the end of these babies being killed. I can't take it. They can't take it. You can't take it. We can't take it. Our kids can't take it. And none of the things that we've been talking about so far have done anything to help. They say money talks, so maybe we should let it into the debate, because they certainly aren't listening to the rest of us. Okay. It's poetry time. There's no L today. Although he and I did talk yesterday about what his segment is going to be. So that'll be coming up soon. But I was thinking about kids. I think about kids every day almost. But I was thinking about kids specifically as I was preparing today's episode. And I just want to do something that my therapist does for me sometimes when we have an especially difficult session, which is she makes sure that I'm re-regulated back to whatever she considers my baseline before she lets me leave when we're having a particularly difficult or sort of traumatizing session. And I don't know, maybe you had gone past thinking about this and then I brought it up, and so I don't want to leave you dysregulated for the rest of the day. So I want to keep it with the kids, but move it to something a little lighter. Okay, so when I was a kid, my favorite book was called Chasing After Annie. Maybe one day I'll read it in parts. It's long. It's the story of this guy and girl. I don't know. I guess they're in middle school. Middle school. You're trying to get a little first girlfriend or whatever. This guy is just enamored by this girl named Annie, and her dog runs away, and the story is about him trying to help her find the dog, told in diary and journal entries by the both of them. I still love it. This is my original copy. You don't have to watch this on YouTube, but you may want to later, just because I'm holding it up. Look, it's frayed. I don't know how many times I've read it. That's my favorite kids book from when I was a kid. This is my favorite kids book from when I was an adult. Oh, I still am. This book helps introduce people, little people, non-adult people, to poetry without being Shel Silverstein. I love that bro, for serious. I grew up reading his poetry too, but when I was a kid, I didn't think poetry existed outside of him. And it does, and you can expose kids to different types of literature. It's not too much for them. Children can do what you tell them they can do for the most part. So give them exposure to a lot of things, and they'll show you they can do a lot of things. It's pretty cool. Anyway, this book is called If You Want to See a Whale. I'm going to read the entire thing. It's not that long. I'll be showing the pictures just like we're in class on YouTube. And one of the reasons I love this book is because, like most well-produced media, entertainment, art, it's written in such a way that it's applicable to multiple people, so you can relate to it no matter what situation you're in. It's hard to write like that, but if you can hit the sweet spot, man, it's so valuable. Okay. If you want to see a whale, you will need a window. And an ocean. And time for waiting, and time for looking, and time for wondering. Is that a whale? And time for realizing. No, it's just a bird. want to see a whale, you will need a not so comfy chair and a not too cozy blanket, because sleeping eyes can't watch for whales, and whales won't wait for watching. If you want to see a whale, you'll have to just ignore the roses and all their pink and all their sweet and all their wild and their waving, because roses don't want you watching whales or waiting for or wondering about things that are not pink and things that are not sweet and things that are not roses. If you want to see a whale, don't look way out over there to the ship that is sailing with the flag that is flapping. Because possible pirates won't help at all when you're waiting for a whale. If you want to see a whale, there's no time to watch the pelican who may or may not be smiling while sitting, staring, looking out. Because pelicans who sit and stare can never be a whale. If you want to see a whale, be careful not to notice something inching small and green across the leaf. Just nibble, scoot. Because things that are smaller than most small things can't be as giant as a whale. If you want to see a whale, you shouldn't watch the clouds, some floating by, some hanging down in the sky that spread out side to side, or the certain sun that's shining, because if you start to look straight up, you might just miss a whale. If you want to see a whale, keep both eyes on the sea. And wait. And wait. And wait. Oh man, audio people, you're gonna have to go look at the YouTube because I don't want to spoil it for you. Or go find the book yourself. It's worth it, whether you have kids or not in your life. Kids in your life or not. It's early. Thank you so much for being here again today. There's not much more to say than that. I'm stoked. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm glad you're here. I welcome feedback. And I'll see you tomorrow.